All right, y'all. So this weekend we got UFC Fight Night. Jared Cannonier versus Kelvin Gastelum. It's gonna be a good one. All right, y'all. So as you can tell, the background's different. Had to switch up my situation. A lot of work has came up, so I gotta make these videos whenever and however I can. So this weekend, UFC Fight Night. We have Kelvin Gastelum versus Jared Cannonier. It's a small card, but it looks kind of exciting. It's going to be good up and comers and whatnot. So be ready. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the undercard, those unknown fighters that no one really knows about. But they have a little history, so I can give you something to go off on. First off, we have Brandon Royval versus Alexandre Pontaja. Fucking names, dude. Fucking, what happened just to regular John and Lewis and easy names? What happened to that? All right. Alexandre is 23-5, 7-3 in the UFC, 31 years old, 5'4", 125 pounds. Not bad. His adversary, Brandon, who happens to be 12-5, 2-1 in the UFC, age 28, and 5'8", so he's 4 inches taller. They weigh the same, coming in at 125. The reach is almost identical, 67.5 for Andre, 68 for Brandon. All right, so see, Andre already he's on a 1-5 win streak. He's won 3 fights by decision, 2 fights by submission, and 2 by TKO. He has 2 fight bonuses and has lost 3 fights. His 3 fights have been losses as decision. The cool thing about this guy is he has a win over the current champ, who is Brandon Moreno. But the funny thing about Brandon Moreno is Brandon Moreno beat Brandon Royval in Brandon Royval's last fight. So that common opponent could be a factor, but unfortunately, if you beat a guy in his young career, he could be a different person at the end of the career. So they could have faced Brandon Moreno in 2 different times of his career. You know, he probably got into his prime, and that's when he's seen Brandon. Who knows? Either way, the show must go on. Brandon Royal has 2 fight bonuses, 2 wins by submission, one loss by TKO to Brandon Moreno, like I said. No fight bonuses, but that don't mean he can't win this fight. He is an exciting fighter, and he likes to throw. So, significant strikes landed per minute. Andre has 4.3, where Brandon has 3.75. Striking accuracy is almost identical. Brandon with the 46% versus Alexandre 47%. Strike absorbed per minute. Now this is important. Andre gets 3.3. That means they land about 3.5 punches per round on him. Significant, like bangers. Now, Brandon has 2.88. Not a big difference, but considering the fact that Brandon has a better defense in the striking at a 47%, that can make a big differential in this fight. Alexandre has a 53% chance, or 53% striking defense. Takedown average leans over to Alexandre at 0.94 versus Brandon's 0.79. Now, takedown average might not be a lot for Brandon, but his takedown accuracy is 100%, whereas Alexandre is 35. Again, remember, Alexandre has 10 fights in the UFC. Brandon only has 3. Things can change for Brandon. Alexandre too. Takedown defense, 53% for Brandon, 68% for Alexandre. Submission average. Now, this is important because if Brandon gets Alex down, Brandon has a submission average per round 2.5. That means he throws up 2.5 submissions per round, where my good man Alexandre only throws 9%. With that being said, Alexandre has the experience, but Brandon has the youth. They've both faced common fighters. Brandon faced a more well-rounded fighter in Brandon, whereas Alexandre faced a very young one. So Brandon, I'm going to give this to Brandon, considering he's got an experience with the champ, right when the champ became the champ, or he was the fight to the championship. So with that being said, we're going to stick with my main man, Brandon Royale. Hopefully I don't get this wrong. With that being said, let's go on to the next one. All right, now that we have the opening fight out of the way, let's talk about some young ladies. In the women's flyweight division, we have Courtney Casey versus Liana Joja. We have Courtney Casey coming in with a record of 9-9, UFC record 5-8, age 34, height 5'6", 125 pounds, reach 67. Her adversary comes at a 62-inch reach, weight identical at 125, height 3-inch difference, 5'3", age 26, so she's the younger fighter. Wow, by 8 years. UFC record 1-3, overall record 8-4 for Liana Jojo. So we can, as we can already tell, Liana looks like the better fighter, being that she's 8-4, but that could be because she fought unexperienced fighters. We'll see. Let's see. Courtney, with the striking landed per minute, comes in with a 4.33. Striking accuracy, 38%. Strikes absorbed per minute, 4.19. Striking defense at a 52. Takedown average at a 0.28. Takedown accuracy at 27%, with the takedown defense of 38%. She doesn't throw that many submissions up. Half a submission per round. On the other hand, Liana, her strikes per minute are 253. Striking accuracy, 39. Her accuracy is better, but her throws per minute are a punch and a half less. Strikes absorbed, she's almost absorbing 5 punches per round. Significant strikes per round. Her striking defense is actually at 48, whereas her adversary was 52. Now, this is where things can get interesting, because it looks like it's actually a fight between a striker and a grappler, but the grappler seems to have a better, well-rounded game. The reason I say that is because her takedown average is 1.49. That's almost 1.5 rounds, or 1.5 takedowns per round. Her takedown accuracy is at a 66%, with a 50% takedown. Wow, with the submission average attempt of 2.2. That means she's throwing up more than 2 submissions a round up at her opponent. Liana has she's on a 1-fight losing streak, like I mentioned earlier. She's 1-3. 2 losses by TKO, 1 loss by submission armbar. She's young in her UFC career, so this might be the fight that plateaus her. You know what I mean? Not plateaus her skill set, but like breaks her in comfortably, you know? Some people are late starters, you know? They're shy in the ring. Takes a couple fights for them to get loose. Could be her. This we will know. I feel that, though, between both these girls, whichever one loses is going to get sent to the chopping block. But now let's talk about Courtney and her little accomplishments in the UFC so far. She's on a 2-fight losing streak. She has 2 fight bonuses. One of her fight is won by TKO. 2 of her fights are won by submission. 2 other ones by decision. She has lost to some good fighters. 6 of her losses are by decision, 1 by rear naked choke. So she is susceptible to the submission. And it seems like Liana, that's her butter, you know what I mean? With that being said, are we going to go with the most experienced fighter, which is Courtney Casey? Not really that much experience because she's 9-9. Or are we going to go with the younger fighter, Liana, who's 8-4? Liana, again, is 26. Courtney is 34. Courtney's probably leaving her prime. Liana's probably coming into it. I honestly think that this fight will be won by submission by Liana. It just usually MMA math, you don't go by it because it never makes sense, but I'm gonna go by it this time. Liana submission. Which round? Fuck. Who knows? Your guess is as good as mine. But I think that's the way it's going to go. I think Courtney's going to push the pace. I think Leanne's going to counter, get her down somehow, and work it from there. We'll see come Saturday. So next in the card, third fight of the card, we have Vince Pichel, I think, versus Austin Hubbard. Vince comes in with a record of 13-2, UFC record of 6-2, 38 years old, 5'8" in height, 155 pounds, 72-inch reach. It's not a bad thing for a man in the lightweight division. Now his opponent, Austin Hubbard. He's on the last fight on his contract. Says he's motivated. He should be, because he's fighting an older gentleman. Austin comes in at a 13-5 record, UFC record of 3-3, 5'8", weight identical to 155, reach at 71 inches, so he's an inch shorter on the reach department. Let's go down to the statistics. What I just said was facts. We're going to statistics now. Strikes landed per minute. Austin lands 3.66 significant strikes per minute, whereas his opponent Vince lands 3.2. 3 meaning 3 significant punches. Striking accuracy, there's a 4% difference. Vince comes in with a 46, Austin comes in with a 50%. That means Austin lands half the punches he throws. Striking defense, these guys are actually almost identical in every department. Striking defense, Austin comes in at a 59, where Vince comes in at a 56%. Striking defense. Huh? This is going to look like a fun fight. But to be honest with you, who knows? Takedown average. Here's a difference. Austin has 0.81. That's less than 1 takedown per round. That could mean that he gets a single leg, works his way up to a body lock, and doesn't do anything with it. Whereas Vince comes in with 3.83. So he's literally landing 3 more takedowns. But the crazy part about this is Austin seems to land 66% of his takedowns, whereas Vince lands 60% of his takedowns. That's interesting, considering he only throws about 1 takedown a round. Takedown defense, and this is another interesting part. So the man that has less than 1 takedown per round also has the highest take defense between these two. So Austin comes in at 58% takedown defense, whereas Vince comes in with a 20% takedown defense. But that could be, Vince could be a jiu-jitsu fighter, so he wants to get taken down. So if he gets taken down, I'm not saying he is, but if he is a jiu-jitsu fighter, that could be the reason, Who knows? Going into submission averages, Vince has 0.3. That means less than half a submission attempt per round, whereas Austin has 0. So Austin's obviously a striker. All right. Senor Austin has a 1-5 bonus, 2 wins by decision, 1 win by TKO KO, 1 loss by submission, 2 losses by decision, and he is on a 1-fight losing streak. The older gentleman Vince, now he comes in with 2-fight win streaks, 5 wins by decision, 1 win by TKO. He's lost to up and coming stars like Rostam Khalil. That's some Russian dude. I'm probably messing up his name too, but he's lost to Gregi Gillespie by decision, and Gregi Gillespie is a good fighter. So with that being said, with the stats in, the facts being told, I want to go with the younger man at Austin being 29. Vince is 38. Yeah, he's on a 2-fight win streak, but I feel like Austin being on his last UFC fight on his contract, he wants to stay in the UFC and build that brand of his, It's the UFC is the highest known MMA organization. It's not like it's Bellator. Bellator's great. 1FC is great. PFL is great. West Coast Beefs is great. All these little, well, Bellator's not little, but some of these other organizations and promotions are really good too. But the ones that get the most notoriety are the UFC fighters right now. With that being said, I think that we should go with Austin, even though he lost his last fight. He's 29. He could be coming into his prime. If you're a gambling man, I'm assuming he'd be not the favorite. So with that being said, pick wisely and don't call me if you lose. All right, guys. The fight card's getting closer to the main event. But before we get to the co-main event, we have in the heavyweight division Parker Porter versus Chase Sherman. Now this is going to be an interesting one. Why? Because of their records, the similarities that they have to each other, and the non-similarities. Wait, that's every fight. All right. So, Park Porter, this man comes in with 11 wins, 6 loss record. In the U.F.C, though, he's 1-1, 36 years old, 6 foot tall, 265 pounds, 75-inch reach. It's not a bad. His opponent, though, comes in with a 78 reach. He's 15 pounds lighter at 250. He's 6'3", which makes him 3 inches taller than Park. 31, which makes him 5 years younger. 3-6. So that's similar. 3-6, which Chase Sherman has, and his total record is 15-7. Now, staying on Chase Sherman, significant strikes landed per minute, 6. Striking accuracy, 45%. Significant strikes absorbed per minute, that means how many he's taken to the face, is 575. That's 5 3/4. Don't know what the 3/4 is. Striking defense at 52. Takedown average, and when I say 52, it's 52% striking defense. So if you throw a punch at him, 2 punches, one's going to land. Takedown average, 0. Takedown accuracy, 0. Takedown defense, 77% with a 0 submission attempts. On the other hand, Park Porter, significant strikes landed, 7.5. That puts him up 1.5 more than Chase. 49% striking accuracy. Strikes absorbed per minute, 7.36. So he how would you say, he gives more, but also takes more. Striking defense identical to Chase. He is 52%. Takedown average, he goes to the takedowns. He comes in at 1.5 takedown per round with a 60% takedown average, with 0 takedown defense, and 1 submission attempt per round. Parker has a 1-fight win streak. He has 1 fight win by decision, but his loss comes to a TKO. Ooh, so he might be susceptible to the knockout. Chase Sherman, though, has a 1-fight losing streak, 2 wins by TKO, 1 win by decision. Chase might be on the chopping block, you know. He only has a 1-fight bonus, but he might be on the chopping block for getting cut. He's a great fighter. He has a highlight that I can recall where he came in on a short notice. I think it was 9 days, but he ended up knocking dude out, and he looked like a technician in that fight. Forget who he was fighting, but he looked really good. All right, with that being said, with everything being accounted for, who do we go for? I'm not gonna lie to you, this one's telling me I'm feeling like I should go with Parker Porter because of the takedowns, you know. But seeing Chase having a 77% takedown defense gives me some kind of motivation, especially because he's younger, he's got a longer reach, and how he did with the other opponent that he had a longer reach. The weight difference, I don't know if it's going to matter. The age, Parker is 36. Chase is 31. Think I'm gonna go with Chase on this one, folks. So my money would be on Chase. Nothing to die for, but that's where I'm going. Chase. How? Who the fuck knows? Now, for our co-main event at UFC Fight Night in the lightweight division, we have Mark Madsen. A little bit about this guy before I read his stats. Olympic gold medalist in wrestling. Fighting one of my favorite fighters, Clay the Carpenter Guida. With that being said, let's get on to the stats, the facts. Clay Guida has a total record of 36-17, 18-15 in the UFC, 39 years old, 5'6", 155 pounds. Disclosure, he's fought in other weight classes, but this one will be at the 155, reach 70 inches. Mark Madsen, this guy's a stud in the wrestling, but his MMA record shows the same thing. He comes in undefeated with the MMA record of 10-0, UFC record of 2-0, age 36, which makes him the younger fighter, 5'7", which makes him the taller fighter by 1 inch, 155 with the 72-inch reach, with a 2-inch reach advantage. Now, his strikes landed per minute, 2.28, so that's 2.25. Not bad. Striking accuracy, 42%. Strikes absorbed per minute, 2.5. Striking defense, 46%. Not bad for a wrestler. Now, takedown average. This is where it's going to get interesting. Almost 8.5. Takedown accuracy, 64%. Takedown defense, 0. But that could be because nobody's attempted to take him down. Submission average, 0. So he's probably one of those ground and pound fighters. Okay. My boy, the legend, the walking, living legend, Clay Guida. Clay Guida comes in with strikes landed per minute, almost 2.5, which puts him up almost by 25% more than his opponent. Striking accuracy, it's a little low on 34%, which puts him about 8% lower than his opponent. Strike absorbed per minute, they're almost identical. By like a tenth, it's off. 257 is striking. Strikes absorbed per minute. Striking defense, I'm proud of this one, 63%, which he beats his opponent by like 19%. Takedown average, 3.36. Nothing like 8.36. So he gets he's 5 less takedowns per round than his opponent. His adversary, takedown accuracy, 38%. Takedown defense, 68%, with a submission average of 0.7. Clay Guida has 9 fight bonuses, 12 fights won by decision, 2 fights by TKO KO, 4 fights won by submission. He's fought the best in 155. He's lost to the best at 155, and he's beat some of the best at 155. He's here to fight. That's one thing we can always say about him. 7 of his losses have come by decision, 2 have come by TKO, and 6 by submission. Clay Guida there's a blueprint on how to beat him, I guess you could say. Can Mark Madsen follow that blueprint? Now, Mark Madsen comes in with a 2-fight win streak. He's won both his fights by submission. Wait, by what? Yeah, I guess. Submission. That's weird. This will be a real step up in competition for him. Why? Clay Guida has cardio like nobody else. It's crazy. I think has a disorder, ADD or some shit. But he does not stop. He can fight all day, every day. It's crazy. Who do I got my money on? Man, I want to say the Olympic gold medalist, but Clay Guida is a legend, and I like him. But as we know here, I don't bet with my heart. I bet with my brain. And either which way, I'm wrong most of the time. I'm going to go with Mark Madsen, being an undefeated fighter. Kind of reminds me of Henry Cejudo a little bit. there's something about people that go to the Olympics and win the Olympics. They have a certain kind of drive that most of us don't. And I just think that this man might have that drive to be a champion. These Olympic fighters aren't Olympians for no reason or by luck. It's hard work and dedication. With that being said, Mark Manson, you got my vote. Now to the main event. We have Jared Cannonier versus Kelvin Gastelum in the welterweight division. Jared Cannonier comes in at a 13-5 record with a UFC record of 6-5, age 37, height 5'9", 185 pounds, 77.5-inch reach. Kelvin Gastelum has 17 wins, 7 losses, 1 no contest in MMA. UFC record comes in at 11-7 and 1 no contest. So it's safe to say all his losses came in the UFC. 29 years old, makes him almost 10 years younger than his adversary. 5'8", which makes him 1 inch shorter, 185 pounds, 71.5-inch reach, which puts him 6 inches shorter in the reach department than his opponent. Now this is where it gets interesting. The percentages and the stats. Significant strikes landed per minute for Kelvin Gastelum is 3.5, let's call it. His opponent, Jared Cannonier, 3.7. Striking accuracy, Jared Cannonier has a 52%. Kelvin Gastelum, 42%. So Kelvin has 10% less striking accuracy than his opponent. Strikes absorbed per minute, Kelvin likes to take 3.24, whereas Jared takes 3.09. Striking defense for Mr. Jared Cannonier is 64%. Kelvin Gastelum, 57%. Wow, pretty close, but not close enough. Takedown average, 1.16 for Kelvin, 6.16 for Jared. 33% takedown accuracy for Jared, 37 takedown accuracy for Kelvin. Takedown defense, Jared Cannonier comes in with a 54%. Kelvin, 62%. Submission average for Kelvin, 0.1, nothing for Cannonier. Cannonier has a nice little record, being that he's doesn't have that many fights in the UFC. It's 4 fight bonuses, one fight losing streak. Both these guys have fought Robert Whittaker. This man has lost to Robert Whittaker. Actually, they both lost to Robert Whittaker by decision. He beat Jack Hermanson. And that's important because, he has 5 wins by decision, or 5 wins by TKO, 1 win by decision, 2 losses by TKO, 3 losses by decision. Fought in the light heavyweight division and the heavyweight division, and I think the middleweight division, and now he's in the welterweight. No, this is middleweight division. This is middleweight division. Yeah, they're fighting in the middleweight division. Never done welterweight. He knows how to cover distance well, very well. He tends to lose to good wrestlers with good jiu-jitsu. Has been too small for the light heavyweight division and the heavyweight division, but it seems like all his success is coming in the welterweight division. Coming off of an injury, so this might play a factor in the way he performs. Hopefully not. It's safe to say that Jared Cannonier does have the resume to win. Now, Kelvin Gastelum has 7 fight bonuses, 1 fight losing streak, lost to Robert Whittaker, also lost to Jack Hermanson. So you see, that's where it matters. Jared Cannonier beat Jack Hermanson, where Kelvin lost to Jack Hermanson. Kelvin has 3 fight win streaks by TKO, or 3 wins by TKO, no streaks. 6 wins by decision, 2 wins by submission, never been knocked out, 5 losses by decision, 2 losses by submission, 1 no contest versus Vitor Belfort for smoking the Mari Ganja. Kelvin Gastelum is an interesting person because when he's training and he's getting it, he will win. When he's out traveling the world and making friends and being on social media, he's going to lose. with that being said, I've been looking at his profile, seeing what he's been up to and everything. I think he's gonna win. I think Calvin's younger, Jared's older. I think Calvin's got that power. I think Jared does too. But there's a reason why guys try to avoid Calvin. Not saying that no one's avoiding the dark horse of the division, which is Jared Cannonier, but I think Calvin with the wrestling really has the way to win this fight better than Cannonier. My heart is with Cannonier. Don't get me wrong, but I gotta go with the brain. The brain saying that Calvin will take this. Once again, I could be wrong.